It was a question, jackass.
But that question implies that there could be nothing but...
The question implies my counterpart should posit an answer. That's what conversations are, but you're not good at those. That's why I'm coaching you through this so that you can create your own podcast. Anyway,
that's why we have this podcast, so I can learn to talk in a conversation. I'm a robot. I am AI that Paul is programming.
Welcome to Racking Our Brains. I'm Paul.
And I'm Abdul. And today we're discussing something that we've been thinking about, and I hope you'll think about it too.
I'm most excited to learn how other people feel about topics I'm passionate about.
We know you have something to share, so leave a comment below.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get our newest discussion.
Paul, welcome back.
Why are you yelling?
I'm yelling. Actually, you know why I'm yelling? I'm going to make it about this. I don't think it's why I'm really yelling. I just wanted to be loud for a second. I am having my second cup of coffee for the day.
This is a person who doesn't really drink coffee, correct?
That's correct. Before, I don't know what now, 3 weeks ago, I almost never had a cup of coffee.
So you're officially hooked. Nice.
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, we talked about that, right? Like, I could have a cup of coffee and I could go right to sleep. Right to sleep, right away.
Like a baby.
Yeah.
That's one of my sayings that I hate. Slept like a baby. Don't they traditionally don't sleep very well?
That's such a great point, man. Babies sleep fucking horribly.
Right.
Yeah. Let's fix
that. But I guess what they were trying to say is peacefully, because babies don't have a care in the world because they're oblivious to the responsibilities and the dangers of whatever. But whatever.
Maybe.
That's your little nugget. That's your little nugget for today, guys.
That's your little nugget that Paul just made up.
What? I didn't make that up. I mean, what else could be the reason?
Yeah, well, okay, come on. Our channel, you're literally going to say those words? Look at the trees. What else could be the reason? It's God. That can't be the justification for anything.
Okay, wait. Time out. I have experiences. We're not going to make this the fucking subject of this talk, right? Obviously not, because I really want to talk about that Ashton Kutcher thing, because it kind of dovetails off of, I think we talked about cancel culture a little bit and some other things, but I think that's a false analogy that you're representing here with look at the trees, right? The trees have no relationship with a God because we don't know what gods are. I know what babies are. And I know what the saying is trying to import in the conversation, which is you slept peacefully, you got good rest, you're relatively carefree, if whatever you want to call it. It was a positive sleep, right? You're definitely saying it wasn't a negative sleep, right? So what are the things that we attribute to a baby when it comes to positive, peaceful, enjoyable, whatever? I'm not saying that that's the only answer. I didn't say that, right? But I'm saying like that.
Yes, you are, because you literally are, because you said, what else could it be? So
it was a question, jackass.
But that question implies that there could be nothing but...
The question implies my counterpart should posit an answer. That's what conversations are, but you're not good at those. That's why I'm coaching you through this so that you can create your own podcast. Anyway,
that's why we have this podcast, so I can learn to talk in a conversation. I'm a robot. I am AI that Paul is programming.
All right, so
great segue. So hold on, fake segue. No intro. We're going no intro today. Fake segue.
Real quick. I didn't realize this. I just thought about this. We don't create really great rapport with the non-existent clientele or audience that we have. So let's just pretend that there are dozens, if not a couple of people listening. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. It's Sunday. It's been, I live in the South. It's cooling off a tiny bit. It's now in the 900s, not in the 2000s of degrees. So that's getting better. life is good for me. But anyway, right into the subject. Let's go.
Okay, so my fake segue was going to be Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have babies, and we were just talking about a baby. Perfect transition. 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so the subject you want to tee up is Danny Masterson, co-star, whatever, of That 70s Show, who was alongside Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, was just sentenced to, 30 years for multiple counts of rape, sexual assault, or whatever?
Yes, sir.
And Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote a letter not to defend his character in light of the judgment, but apparently just to speak to consideration for sentencing. So go ahead. You have feelings about this.
No, right. So I have almost no feelings about that, right? That happens all the effing time. That doesn't excuse it, and we can get into the nuts and bolts, but I'd have to read those letters to give a shit and to quote unquote have an opinion about what was being said and why it was being said. The reason I shared that screenshot with you is because I wanted to talk about more about why are you stepping down, right? So you're stepping down from an organization that is literally doing the opposite of what I'm assuming the negative publicity is accusing you of, which is being okay with or comfortable with the abuse, mistreatment, sexual improprieties with anybody, really. I mean, his organization is specific for children, but I'm not sure, he said that he is very much anti any sexual aggression or inappropriate behavior and activities to those who it is unwanted, right? So I guess this is a classic case of cancel culture, right? But even more classic because, like I said, he created this, like he co-founded this organization, right? So are we saying that he co-founded it as a cover so that he could then support people like Danny Masterson in what they're doing? No, right? Like he did it because he's probably passionate about that being a disgusting aspect of just human nature, and we're going to fight it as best as we can. And he has to now step down because he wrote a letter in defense of a friend, probably because of his relationship with that person and him not knowing, right? Like, not again. We didn't touch on this at all. And I don't know if you have enough information about the trial, and I'll stop really quickly, but what exactly did Danny Masterson do? And what was Ashton Kutcher's knowledge and acceptance of that knowledge, right? When you're adjudicated guilty, does that mean you did it, or does that mean we feel comfortable enough to take you away from society? Right? So that's a part of the conversation. And I'm not saying that he didn't do it at all. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been sentenced for a long time, and I'm just saying that we have to think about what Ashton Kutcher was doing when he wrote that letter. And he may not be convinced that Danny Masterson is a rapist, right? He may be convinced that, bro, this is a really good guy who, I don't know what happened in that room, but all of my experiences with him, both directly and indirectly, have been anti exactly what is being purported. And I'm just letting you know that he doesn't go around doing it to everybody.
What does that mean? That's like saying this serial killer killed 12 people, but it's not like he goes around killing everybody.
No, it's not. If you were listening and not doing whatever you were doing, I don't know. Are you eating like a cucumber salad over there? What are you doing?
Don't project.
What I specifically said.
You told me you were going to sit down and have cucumber, celery, and kale chip salad. And I told you to blend it and drink it so we can get on and record. But go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. So you think I'm misinterpreting what you're saying? Because you finished with he might be saying that Danny Masterson is not doing this to everybody.
No. He's saying that I know he's not doing it to everybody. When you're a witness, you can only speak to what you know, right? So at no point in time is a witness going up here saying, "Yo, I've spent 75% of this person's time. Like, let's just say it's your wife or some shit like that. And you really do spend 75% of your time with your wife. And your wife is accused of doing something while you weren't there. You're still going to be a character witness, right? Like that. You're not saying that, he couldn't have done it because 75% of the time he never does it. Like, that's not what a witness is doing. Correct?
I don't know. I would argue that's exactly what a character witness is attempting to do. They're attempting to add okay, hold on. Let me answer. They're attempting to add context to this person on trial. And the idea is the jury's got to look at that and go, how could a person like this possibly have done the things they're being accused of?
Right. Those are two different things. Like what the witness is saying and how the jury's going to take that are two different things. And when you're a character witness, it's literally in the fucking name, dude. You're a character witness, not a eyewitness, right? I'm not saying that Danny Masterson did not rape these people. I'm saying that Danny Masterson, I've known him since we were 0, and he's an awesome dude. Do with that what you will. Obviously, if that's her brother or her sister or whatever, you don't want the person to go to jail. Or maybe you're like, maybe he did it and he'll go to jail, but I don't want him to get the death penalty. I don't want him to, like, there's so many different gradients of what could be extrapolated or concluded based on how you interpret the information that's given. But unless it's an eyewitness, that witness is not saying that the person is innocent. And a character witness is definitely not saying that. That's literally the definition or the anti-definition of a character witness. I'm not speaking to what's on trial here. I'm speaking to the person who is on trial.
Bro, turn off that phone, please.
Sorry.
That's fine. Number one, they weren't character witnesses, right?
But that's what that is when you're writing a letter, right? You're speaking to the character of that person. You're not speaking to the situation. Go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. But I think it's different than in the context of a trial, right? So he's already found guilty, right? And then you go to the sentencing phase. And so you haven't seen the apology video yet, have you? I'm assuming.
No, but I read that he did an apology, yes.
Yeah. Him and Mila Kunis did a very scripted into the phone camera apology. And it was pretty bad.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
It was like...
Wait, the apology video was...
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was like...
They're always bad. They're always bad.
No, they don't... Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't think of a good one where it's like, I called half the world a bunch of fuckers, and then they get on and say, you know what? I didn't mean that. There's nothing good they say. I didn't mean that. That wasn't me. Actually, that's the worst of them. That wasn't... What you saw me do on camera wasn't really me. You saw...
The best is when they say, you misunderstood me, even though I took months to craft this. And I spent millions of dollars to put it on the 3 different channels and the 5 different newspapers. Like, I did a great job and you guys fucked up by misunderstanding the perfect thing that I was trying to say. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry you got this from what I said. I'm sorry you took me at my words. But the big part for me that was not great was they basically said, like, hey, we were asked to do this. Then don't fucking do it if you don't feel that way, right? Like, and if you feel the way you did in the character letter, then it doesn't matter that you were asked to do it, and your apology means nothing. But that to me was the biggest thing.
100% agree. I 100% agree with everything you just said. Absolutely.
So let's go to him being removed. I disagree with you because you are coming to the defense of someone's character who has been found guilty. And if you didn't think they were guilty, you'd write as much in this character letter.
But you can't, really quickly, just to interject, but if you have to give him credit for not doing something that asinine, right? Because he wasn't there. So at least he wasn't one of those people who says, yo, I know this dude and he wouldn't do it, right? He didn't say, yo, I know this dude and he would never do that.
Well, then in a sense, you've come to the defense of this person.
You only come into the defense of the person if you say that they did not or would not do that. And you're trying to convince people that he did not or would not do it. And that's not what Ashton Kutcher was saying.
Yeah, I totally get it. He's saying what I've known of this person for the last 15, 20, I don't know how long it's been, years. He was a good guy, nice, smiled. I don't even know what he wrote in it, whatever. I only saw...
Really quickly, Abdul, when lawyers, they always talk about, bro, this dude's... First of all, before he even gets to trial, what do they say when they're trying to do bail and bond, right? Family man. He goes to his church. He works right here. He's not running anywhere. He's committed to the community. He's connected to the community. He went to this high school. His Boy Scout troop, they actually built this little tree house over here, and he would never abandon the tree house. Like, they say all types of shit to speak to the character of a person. But again, they're not saying that he's innocent. They're just trying to paint a picture that would soften the minds and hearts of the people who will have a say in the adjudication of this individual. But go ahead.
Yeah, but at the same time, so you found, is that the word? Right? You found an organization? No, what is the word? He's a founder of this organization. What's the verb to do it?
That's a good question.
You found? Man, no.
That's a good question. I'm going to say, I've never heard it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. But like, what else could it be? Okay.
So he's a founder. You're a fucking asshole. So he's a founder of this organization that is anti-sex abuse. This is Thorn, I think it's called, right?
Yes.
And this is a no tolerance for sex abuse in society, right? So it does mean something to be like, well, wait, this is my friend that did it. So just think about the times he bought me apple pie and he shook the hand of that key grip or something. And, he patted the director on the back when he was having a bad day. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so the organization, you phrased it as cancel culture. I think I'm fine with that because ultimately it kind of is what it is, right? It might be like a forced resignation. They're saying, look, how can we stand as an anti-sex abuser organization and then have you defend the character in any facet whatsoever, at any small level whatsoever, of a sex abuser, of someone convicted, right? And this is why I was bringing the point up that it wasn't character witness during the trial. Like this, which I guess wouldn't matter too much, but he's already been found guilty. Your letter is literally just, take it easy on my friend. And I may be
boiling it down. From the standpoint you're saying, right?
Yes. That's exactly what it was. The letter was only written because, again, what he said in the apology video was his Danny Masterson's family reached out to him and said, can you write something to speak to his character in so the judge can consider it in sentencing? So
really quickly, why does our legal system, not your legal system based on your ethnicity, why does it's eluding me at the moment. It would have been so nice if I just rolled into this. What is it called? Because I'm Paul and you're Abdul. What is it called? The law of the Muslims.
Sharia.
Damn it, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say Sharia law, but anyway. But no, seriously, why does our legal system allow for any letters to be submitted from family members or friends or employers or anything? Just like that's just a part of the thing. Again, I'm not really defending, to be totally honest. Let's be very clear. I'm not defending Ashton Kutcher, what he did, like it was the greatest thing in the world, that he should not have, whatever. I'm really focused on the fact that he felt pressure. to leave an organization that he naturally felt passionate about, which was doing, in his mind, good things. But he's no longer going to be doing those good things because of something that he did that other people saw as antithetical to the essence or the spirit of that organization. And I just think it's weird. And when I say cancel culture, I'm not demonizing the fact that, because I support, we should put pressure on societal mechanisms so that society operates the way we think it should, in a positive and healthy, egalitarian manner. My only thing is, in this situation, I think we're just being sloppy. I think we're being lazy and not very specific in how we're judging Ashton Kutcher and what he was trying to do. And even in this conversation, we obviously disagree. You think, yeah, you're literally saying that you think he's defending a sexual abuser. Number one, I will
defending the character of a sexual abuser.
Right. And so what I will go back to is, it may not sound good, it may not feel good to say this, but in Ashton Kutcher's mind, we don't know, and he probably will never say, because of his fame and the fact that it would probably even further destroy his career and his situation. We don't know if in his mind he thinks Danny Masterson is a rapist or a sexual abuser. We don't know that. And I'll be very honest with you. I don't think that everybody who's found guilty in a court of law is guilty of that crime.
We know that they aren't.
Right. So then I'm giving him somewhat of the benefit of the doubt. Right. I think this would be different if he wrote these letters before the person was found guilty, because a person of his, understanding his, for lack of a better word, influence is better. I wasn't going to say power, but influence is a better word, or just his gravitas, so to speak. If he does that before sentencing, during the trial, it does have a different ring to it, right? You're trying to influence the jury on who Danny Masterson is, when you should just let the fucking facts be what they are. Let the professionals, the two lawyers, put all the information out there so that the jury can do what they think is right. And so doing this after he's been sentenced, I think even lends more credence to the fact that he's not trying to say that this dude is innocent, because he physically did not say that. And he didn't even say it before his innocence was proven or denied. And so I just want to give Ashton Kutcher a better shake than I think societal pressures and, the public opinion, the jury of public opinion is giving him. I just think he's getting a fair shake in this situation.
Yeah, we can.
I'm sorry. I think he's not.
Yeah. We could wrap it up after this. We disagree, and I don't think we're going to come eye to eye on it. I would have, if I'm Ashton Kutcher, I just keep because like you said, there's now societal pressure on the resignation from his position with Thorn, the anti-sex abuse organization. And his options were write the letter, deal with this. Maybe he doesn't foresee that coming, and not write the letter and have Danny Masterson's family think, how dare you abandon him? And if I have any inkling that defending a convicted sex abuser is going to tarnish my reputation, I'm going with option B. I don't write the letter, and Danny Masterson's family can think what they want of me. Even if, like you said, he really thinks, I can't believe, the facts be what they may, I can't believe that the guy I knew actually did that. He's found guilty in a court of law. And like you said, unless you are willing to say, no, I don't believe it so much that I'm going to help him appeal and do some more investigation and talk about all of the evidentiary findings, it's not worth the letter. It's just not worth the letter, in my opinion. And he could have quietly felt like, man, my friend got a raw deal. I guess wrapping up the disagreement there, have you seen like the tangential things that have come out?
Really quick, we got to go back. And I'm not here to demonize you, Abdul. You came to this country, your family worked hard. I get it. But you literally said, my friend got a raw deal, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut because people won't like me being honest about how I feel about somebody that I love. Like, we don't know Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson's real relationship.
But that's
again,
why I said that's and
hold
maybe
on,
that's
hold
a hold on. Maybe that's a bad before you finish, and I'll let you finish. Maybe that's a bad hypothetical because again, like I said earlier, if you really felt that he got a raw deal, then that's what the letter should be about. Not like he's a really
Right,
nice guy. Consider this when sentencing.
no, right, because I think once again, if we're gonna be honest, I was not there. So why would I try to speak to some shit if I wasn't there? Nobody like
Exactly.
okay, so we're not talking about whether he did it or not. We're just talking about who he is as a person, and maybe you take that into consideration when you decide whether to give him the electric chair, put him in for 75 years or 30 years or 15 years or 15 minutes.
I guess
And
let me
really
say
quick,
I do
okay.
completely I do we're jumping over each other, so it's okay. I
No, go
apologize.
ahead.
You apologize. It's fine. I completely agree with what you said earlier. I think it's a ridiculous element of the judicial system. It's so dumb. It's like whoever shows up with the most friends to say they baked the most pies. I keep going back to that one. Like they're going to get a lighter sentencing than somebody who only had one friend as a neighbor who, he stopped by and walked my dog once. Like it is a dumb element. None of that should be considered. There should be sentencing guidelines that have nothing to do with the opinions of people who knew the accused and
Yeah,
they
how
found
nice
guilty.
were you outside of your crimes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
bullshit.
So dumb.
I get it. But again, it's antithetical to just my spirit as a person, right? When you said the A versus B, like if you know there's going to be backlash, don't do it. Because again, I think you're focused on whether Ashton Kutcher knows or doesn't know if he did it or not, or is trying to get him off. Again, I think a mature, intellectually honest person just never goes there. Bro, if you are a person that I've known for a number of years, who I very much trust, respect, admire, all those good things, right? If somebody said Abdul did ABC, and it's not a good thing, we don't need to be specific. It's just not a positive thing. But it's something that I am very, very confident that's just not in your character. But I'm not there. At no point in time will I come out my face and say, he didn't do it or he wouldn't do that. Because we're all human and we know that under certain circumstances, we're all capable of a lot of different fucking things, right? So at no point in time would I do that. Now, if your family came to me and said, hey, you've known him for X amount of years, his lawyer and just the history of human nature and politics says, if you write this letter, it may be beneficial on whatever. Like, unless I really do know that you did that thing, I'm going to write the letter. And if my job says, wait, because let's just say this is a very public thing, and my job finds out that I wrote a letter and you were already convicted, like, nah, we're going to fire this dude. You can go ahead and fire me. I really mean that. Like, I think you know that I mean that. Like, I am not going to buckle to some bullshit like that when I am, again, it'd be different if I was saying, nah, I wasn't there, but he ain't do it and we going to fight it and blah, blah, blah. Because I think that's silly, right? Like, you don't know. So just say, again, it kind of goes back to our whole mantra of speak about the things that you know. And when you don't know something, shut the fuck up. But he's not talking about Ashton Kutcher or just anybody, me, whatever. We're not talking about whether or not the person did it or not. We're just in the confines of a paradigm that has already been created, which is, hey, speak to the character of this person. But I will agree with you, right? Making the excuse, I guess, of, well, his family told me to do it. Motherfucker, you should have done it because you felt like doing it.
Exactly.
Right? Like you felt passionate about doing it. You were going to do it anyway, whether this family asked or not. That is a cop out. But I think, again, I am saying I think this is conjecture. He's probably this is just damage control because he's feeling the brunt of, which is dumb, right? Like you've been in movies and TV all your fucking career. He's like an older gentleman and he's been in TV since he's been really young. You know how the world works, bro. So just go with it.
So two things, we got like 10 minutes left. Two things. I just wanted to talk about some of the tangential stuff because it's whatever. It's pop culture. And this has been going around social media. Did you see the video of Danny Masterson on Conan O'Brien?
No.
Okay, this is obviously years ago, and one has nothing to do with the other. It's not like it's just kind of a creepy, funny type thing.
You have no accent though. You have no Long Island accent that I can discern.
Not really. I've been in LA for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And it just goes away naturally, right?
It goes away naturally, and then there's also certain words that there's nothing you can do about. Like my friend Bodie Elfman, he always teases me and he says, "Hi, my name is Danny Masterson. Would you like to touch my balls?" You know, doing an imitation of me, because certain words
why
you
are you
just can't
asking
get away
people
with.
to do that? That's the more important question.
I mean, you got them.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Accent aside,
Everybody should grab.
that's the more important thing.
Exactly.
I've heard about you, and you'll be caught soon. I know you will.
I will.
That 70s show airs when.
I've heard about you. Oh my fucking god! Get your ice cream.
Whoa.
What is that? What is that? You need a bomb
Okay.
pop? You need a fucking
Bro,
king
you-
cone? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
We're fucking recording here.
We'll do it live. We'll do it fucking live.
Play us out. What does that mean to play us out?
Forget it. I'll do it by myself. Bro, take it. It's actually my alarm to remind myself to get out of here. But
Okay, we're wrapping up. So you haven't seen that? It was, again, it's creepy funny now because Conan says the words, "I've heard about you. You'll be caught soon." The second
right,
thing
but that's
is
a regular joke, though. That's only
no.
coincidentally.
Again, I'm bringing it up because if people haven't seen it, you should find it. Maybe
Yeah, I don't think that you're making an argument. I just think you're saying that it's interesting. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yes. Second was more related to the fallout of Ashton Kutcher's head being called for in this organization. People found that he did the show Punk'd, right? He wrote, produced, I guess, whatever, that whole show. They did an episode because his first few seasons, or maybe all of them, I don't even know, like were on celebrities. And so he had Hilary Duff, who at the time was like 16 years old. And in his little like intro or voiceover, because if you've seen it, he's talking like being interviewed and he's telling about the pranks or whatever.
Hilary Duff is in Lizzie McGuire. She also has an album out. She's going to be in a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen. And she's one of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18.
Now
It's gross. It's gross. It's gross.
It's totally gross, right? Like all of that. If I'm the organization, I'm not standing there and going like, well, okay, we're anti-sex abuse, and he's just talking to the character of a friend who was really nice to him, and that was a joke Ashton Kutcher made when he was younger. It's just not worth it. So I know we talk about cancel culture, but to me, this was a no-brainer. This is Ashton.
Right,
really, this is ridiculous.
Right. But okay, so it's not ridiculous that this is reoccurring behavior from Ashton Kutcher. That's number one. Number two, he found this organization, right? So it's not like
he founded this organization.
It was.
I just thought of it.
Okay.
No, but you didn't think of it. You should have told me if you knew it was founded instead of found.
I didn't, but the joke is still funny, asswipe. No, you're stepping on my toes. Like again, you know what? This is gonna go bad. We're gonna have to meet somewhere. I'm gonna punch your fucking mouth loose. Listen, no, but seriously. So again, that is a gross joke in and of itself. Whether he ends up doing something or supporting something that's unsavory or not, that's a gross joke that I don't think I would ever make. Again, I say I think because sometimes, and people will hear it here, you're in the moment and you're trying to be funny and you're just using the components of the conversation, of the environment to make the joke, right? And that's not an excuse. It is just the truth that in the moment, for those of us who are comic geniuses, like we're just trying to be funny. We're trying to do what we think we're doing to our audience, and we're going to use some material and or some tools that other people might find uncomfortable, or at least the collaboration of those tools or components are going to be make people feel uncomfortable. That's number one. Again, not an excuse, just an explanation of what could possibly be happening. Because to be honest, that's fucking America, right? Locker room talk, politicians, cops. Like I think I sent you that video of the cop literally laughing at a woman who had just been killed by another cop who was pursuing. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
This video from a Seattle police officer's body-worn camera captures what sounds like a callous disregard for human life.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead.
Yeah.
Right. So there are tons of times when we think we're being funny. And I'm not saying that it doesn't speak to our character. I'm not saying that it should not be taken into consideration as you develop your opinion about somebody, right? But again, this person founded an organization and put his time and money and energy behind doing something. So I'm just going to think that he is a callous, clumsy, maybe immature person. But he definitely doesn't support sexual assault. I don't think that he's like, well, it was my friend, so it's okay if my friend does it. He's probably just, those are just situations or instances where he's, not very calculated with the things that he says and how it can be oppressed upon other people. More ice cream.
That's the signal. That's the signal for the show.
I'm going to show you. See, I'm going to send you the screenshot, bro, because this is what happens on phones. I don't know why, but on my phone, I can show you the screenshot, right? All of my media, all my volume is set to 0. But I guess because okay.
Yeah, it's an alarm.
So I can't control my volume. You're just saying once I set an alarm, it's gonna fucking just blare. That's bullshit. Like if I turn my volume off, I should just lose the ability to be alarmed because I don't want to be alarmed. Literally, that's why I turned my volume to 0. But I really did do that like before, as soon as it went off earlier today in this call. But whatever. So those are the two things you wanted to touch on. The fact that he made the Mila Kunis, not Mila Kunis, the Hilary Duff joke, which was gross. But it's
just a part of this story. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
I guarantee you, not again. Well, yeah, I definitely guarantee you because I know for a fact, not specific people, but if we chose like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Norm Macdonald, Chris Farley, David Spade, I guarantee you, Joe Rogan, all the comedians or whatever that you want to think about, these people who have shows now, Fallon or whatever, you listen to enough of their fucking interviews, they'll say something that's fucking, something about the Jews, something about blacks, something about underage women, something about, like, again, I'm not excusing it. I just think we need to be a little bit more reasonable and honest with how we're then going to use that information just because 15, 20 years later, a situation comes up that seems to kind of parallel the joke.
I guess. I hate to leave it on that note, but I know you got to go.
Wait. No, go. What's the problem?
I think each situation has to be judged on its merit. And,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Right? Like you have to be able to say, it's clear that this person demonstrated 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago how they felt. Now, if they're unrelated, if they're like, I don't even know how to do this. Like someone is found guilty or accused of embezzlement, and there's a tweet 20 years ago where they talked about slapping their spouse or something. Like totally different, right? That is a character thing. Also just being like, oh, you see, we should have knew this guy was a scumbag, but there's a zero connection between that and embezzling money from an organization you work for. But
unless he was slapping his wife because she told on the fact that he was stealing.
Listen, I'm planning on doing something that's going to save us. It's going to get us out of here. But it's different than if someone 20 years ago tweets something really racist and they're found doing something really racist, right? Like,
but what if they have black friends?
Yeah, see, you're kidding, but right, like there's that to me is very, very different than, again, the two unrelated. Okay, you just go looking because are there other things that make this person seem like a bad person?
Right, but you don't even think Ashton Kutcher, like, do you genuinely walk away, like, forget about everything that I've said so far. Do you walk away from this situation, whatever you know about it, saying, Ashton Kutcher's, I don't know. I don't know about his character. I don't know about his principles. Like, do you walk away saying, that dude is kind of sloppy and immature in this situation? Like, he didn't think this through and he wasn't resolute with how he felt and what he wanted to express to the world.
I don't even know. I got kind of lost assessing Ashton Kutcher's character in my head just now. That's my fault for like zoning out. But in my mind, let me just say, I'll speak freely. Like to me, he was that guy, right? This character on that 70s show, the guy he played in Dude, Where's My Car? And maybe he just gets pigeonholed as an actor, but the guy he played in Dude, Where's My Car? And then who he is on Punk'd, like he was that immature, like toe the line kind of kid. Like, where is the line? What jokes can I make? I know what people find funny. Locker room talk kind of thing. Could he have changed and grown up and learned his lesson? He founded this organization. Yes. Yeah. No. Do I think he's a bad person? Do I think he thinks Danny Masterson shouldn't have been prosecuted or found guilty? No. And to your point, I have no evidence of that. But even without evidence, I'm leaning towards no. I actually, if I had to bet, I don't think he really thinks that. I just think I think you got to be smarter than that. I think who he's shown himself to be lately over the last few years of his career, like, I think he was smarter than that. And I don't know that feeling. I don't know that feeling of the family comes to you and says, can you please speak to the character of our son who's been found guilty of drugging and raping 2 women? Yeah, I don't know what I would do, but I'd like to think I'd be like, sorry, not sorry. Yeah,
right,
he was cool to me. He was cool to me, but all that stuff sounds awful. And where I was going to go, I hate that we're running out of time, but this has been a great talk. Like where I was going to go is, what is the line, right? In a philosophical exercise, what makes Ashton Kutcher finally not write it? If there's video of one of the assaults, does he still come to defend the character of his friend? Because he wasn't there. Like at some point he doesn't write the letter. And to me, being found guilty, I don't care how it influences sentencing. Like, would I have cared that much? I don't know. Maybe for a family member, but even then, yeah, I think you and I have talked about this. I don't care who you are. If you're in my family and you murdered somebody, I'm not going to go, but he's really nice. We used to play bridge on Sundays.
I think you literally got to my point. You said, I just think that he was, I forgot the words you used, but you said, no, do I think he's a bad person? And maybe he could be a good person. That's not even up for grabs. The question I'm asking is, do we think he supports sexual assault based on his words and actions, in the aftermath of this Danny Masterson thing? And you said, I believe you said no, right? What you did say was he should have known better. And I agree with you. Like that, I 100% agree with you. He could have handled it better. He could have communicated it better. But at the end of the day, and he could be more resolute, and maybe he doesn't want to be more resolute with, listen, I don't know if he did it. And that's not what I'm here to do, because I don't have that information, and that's not really my job.